Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Danica, and today we are going to be discussing Love is Blind. So before we hop into Love is Blind, I do have quick, just, program and note with this particular episode, as well as the next episode. And, or like a format anyways. And then we also have just one quick hot goss that is Love is Blind related, and then we will just hop right into the episode. So first things first, this particular episode is because the final episode is not really, not a whole lot kind of going on with that episode. So we are kind of combining both episodes into one. And it's a little more of just like a discussion really about everything kind of going on more than a recap. But that's what we're doing. And then also with the next episode, the finale episode, it's just going to be me. Sharon is going to be on vacation, and then we will have her back on the reunion, and we can kind of talk about those things with the weddings that we will be seeing next week. So that's what we're going to be doing. And yeah. But yeah, I think that's kind of it, what to expect with that. But let's hop into the hot goss very quickly. So Jessica was on the Files podcast, which actually we did talk about in this episode, but we were talking about this. We were talking about something else. And she did discuss the drama that happened between Jeremy, Laura, and Sarah Ann. So she says that she found Sarah Ann's approach to be profoundly inappropriate. And she does kind of go on to say, listen, I understand. I empathize with how she was feeling because she was in this love triangle herself, just like Sarah Ann, Laura, and Jeremy were. Jessica said that because she understood what Sarah Ann was going through, she felt validated to talk about her approach to Jeremy while he was engaged to someone else. So she says, quote, so the feelings were valid. It was her approach that was just so disrespectful. If she really couldn't fight her feelings and she needed that closure, that last conversation, she could have reached out to Laura and been like, hey, I'm having a hard time with this. Would you mind? And if Laura had said no, that small amount of consideration would have made a world of difference. So Nick Vile pointed out that in past seasons, contestants have changed their minds and gone with another connection. That is incorrect. That particular statement is actually not so much incorrect, but misinformed. No one has done that before, except for Zach and Bliss. The difference with Zach and Bliss is he ended things with Irina before he went to Bliss. He didn't disrespect his relationship with Irina and then went to Bliss. If there is somebody else who's done this, remind me. But the only person that I can think of is Zach and Bliss. And it's a completely different situation. They're not the same. So I think Jessica is on my side here because she says the difference in the other seasons, in this one, it was the guy who made the choice is the one who reached back out. And seemingly again referencing season 4, married pair Zach and Bliss. And she said it was the girl who didn't get picked who reached out in this particular case. She says, as for her own romantic situation, Jess felt like she definitely dodged a bullet with Jimmy, noting we wouldn't have gone the distance, but not because I found him physically unattractive, but because of his actions. She admitted that Jimmy wasn't her type, listing that as extremely tall with a beard and a sleeve of tattoos is her choice. Who is that? Because it kind of goes on to say that Jess then admitted that she had another strong connection from the pause, whom she might be trying to sort things out with, implying she might have another Love is Blind romance in the future. You could probably use context clues, but she's not naming who this person is, and she's choosing not to because of the fact that they're still working out some kinks. Who is it? Because I don't know who that is. I can't even begin to guess who that could be. I don't know. Pause for a minute. I'm going to go through some people. Give me 1 second. Okay, guys, I am back at the cast announcement, which is on my Facebook. I will put it out there, some of these people, to kind of play a guess as to who it could be. But I have someone named Vince who does look tall and does have a beard. Can't tell if he has a tattoo, a sleeve, or anything. Let's see who else we have. Trevor is another one, but he doesn't have a tattoo, but he does have beard. He does. I don't know though if she would pick him, but we'll add him to the mix. Let's see who else we have. Ariel. He didn't get a lot of screen time. I did kind of see him there in the background, but he didn't get a lot of screen time. He's hot and he has a beard, but I don't see it. He does have a tattoo on his arm, but it's not a sleeve, and she seems to like that. But you won't be picky. But yeah, because I'm going based on her context clues, as she said. So who else do we have? No, she wouldn't go for this guy, even though he does have a beard, but it's not him. Who else? That's it. I mean, the other guy, I'll add him to the mix, but I personally don't think it'd be him either. Oh, I missed this guy too. Hold on. We have somebody else too. We gotta go back up. So we have a guy named Austin who, you never know, but I don't know for sure. But there's also this other guy named Dion who has a beard. He's really cute. Maybe, but I've saved these pictures. I'm gonna repost them. Everybody guess with me who you think it could be. I'm gonna put a poll and you tell me who you think it could be. Who do you think Jess is kind of saying? Because I'm going based on her context clues, and we'll see whenever that does come out who it could be. And let's have fun with it. So, but that's basically it for the Hawkeyes. Don't think we have anything else to discuss on the top of the episode. So we're just going to hop into the fun. We're going to hop right into the episode. So Love is Blind, Season 6, Episode 10, What Could Have Been, as well as Episode 11, Roller Coaster of Love. So let's hop into it now. All right, everybody. So, as promised, we have Sharon here to discuss Love is Blind. And just to kind of preface, we're going to be doing kind of both of these episodes combined in one, just because the second episode, not a whole lot to talk about once we got out of the group. But hi, Sharon.
Hi, Tanika. Hi, Tanika's audience. Happy to be back once more to share my somewhat terrible hot takes. Maybe not.
Well,
yeah.
And again, just as a reminder, Sharon will not be with us in the final episode. But of course, we will talk about predictions and everything with you when you're back for the reunion.
Yes.
She's going to be living it up in Jamaica, right? That's where you're going?
Yes.
Yeah, she's going back to my home. Even though I'm not from Jamaica, but still my home.
Still is your home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just doing a little happy dance in here because
Yeah.
I get to
Get
go.
out of here.
Bye, winter. Ugh, I'm ready to fix my skin. OMG. But
Oh,
yes, I won't talk too much about it because I don't want to make you jealous. So
I mean, it's all good.
okay,
Yeah. Anyway, back to the show.
yes.
Um, so yeah, like obviously we're gonna probably have a lot of focus on the group. I think that's kind of the main focus here for us. Um, so let's kind of get into it. Before that though, Jeremy meets up with his mom and
Yeah.
tells his mom what happens. What I loved here was that his mom was like, I would have, if she's better than me, I would have killed you, basically. Like, that's
Hmm.
what she basically wants to say. You're an idiot. Why would you do that? Do you not understand maybe how Laura is feeling? Because even, let's play, I mean, I still think something happened, even if, like, let's say if it even wasn't sexual nature, let's say they just kissed or something happened,
Hmm.
especially with the quickness of which something happens during the group.
Hmm. I
It's
agree.
it's something clearly did go on, but let's just play devil's advocate and say the story they're trying to tell everybody is the right story. Do you not understand how Laura feels as your fiance at home waiting for you? And you're going here, there, and everywhere with the other woman that you're contemplating marrying.
Yeah.
Like, that is so disrespectful.
I mean, based on now that we kind of know his like
His
history
history.
before, yeah, going to Love
Mhm.
Island and not Love Island, Love is Blind. Um, it's like I'm not surprised. Like,
I'm not either.
but given like take that away and like him just doing this, like it's just like you lack common sense. Like I don't understand. Like it's so simple, and yet
Yeah.
he like does not understand, does not want to take accountability, and it's just um trying to focus on a different like issue in this grand argument
Hmm.
to make a point that doesn't even make sense. Like I don't know, man.
And
He's
I
something else.
and I think the thing that's even more just annoying with him that we'll see a little later, we won't go into too much yet,
Hmm.
but the way he doubles down on the fact, like, well, I tried to do this and I tried to do that, and you're
Yeah.
not receiving it. And it's like, but do you not understand that even if you're doing all these things, what difference do you think that's going to make when the damage has already been done?
Yeah.
And that's a part of it that's annoying as well. Like, now, okay, maybe I'll again play devil's advocate here. Maybe Laura is really holding on to this to an extent that is not beneficial. But look what happens when things didn't go Jeremy's way and how
Hmm.
quickly he goes from one to the other.
Hmm.
So Laura did the absolute right thing, not doubling down, or sorry, not giving in to his apologies.
Yeah.
Like he clearly goes through life not respecting the women that he says that he's with.
Yeah.
You're
And
engaged
like,
to one woman before you
hmm
come on the show. And
hmm
we don't know all the details. But from the understanding is you applied to the show and you probably did
Yeah.
when you were engaged to her.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
that's not respecting her. She also has a child who is also attached to you. So you
Hmm.
obviously also don't respect the child or give a
Hmm.
shit about the child.
Yeah.
And then you're with Laura. You don't respect the fact that you've told her you want to marry her. You go off with the other woman who you admitted in the pods you have more of a physical attraction to. This physical tension between you more so than the emotional aspect of it. And you think Laura should be okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I think Laura has like she explained it in I mean, the entire time, like Laura was like she's great with her words, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but one of the things she said is like, like Jeremy, um, is engaged to her and such. And like he was meant to protect her heart. And
Mm-hmm.
when you're engaged to someone, that's what it means. This is
Mm-hmm.
what it symbolizes. And he didn't.
No,
And
not at
like,
all.
if even if nothing happened, the fact that you're gonna go and then stay 5 a.m. and then like go drop her off, and then come home and then sleep on the couch. So you did something wrong.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, because you want to come in, sneak in, and you know if you go upstairs, you're going to wake her up and she's going to see the time. So exactly, that's you trying to hope for the best, that
yeah,
she doesn't know that you were gone all night.
yeah,
And here again, here's the thing. This is my hot take. Um, I remember when I found out that my ex-husband had cheated. This was before we were married. I was originally told, oh, it's just a sex thing. He basically used a situation that I was in when I met him totally against me and said, oh, it was just friends with benefits or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's bad. That doesn't feel good.
hmm
But at least the emotion isn't in there. Until I later found out the emotion was. And that hurt more than me finding out that he was sleeping with somebody else. Because
hmm
I would rather you have sex with this person, have no emotion attached, than to have the emotion attached. Because again, I think we can all agree men can have sex without emotion attached. At least they say they can.
yeah,
It's a little different maybe with women.
yeah.
Although I can too if I really have to. But
You really have to, Tanika. Like, who's
well, not
folding
now.
your arms?
Not now. No, I just
Yeah,
mean like, um, if I really don't have a feeling for you or I
yeah.
know it's not going to go anywhere, I can
Right.
make myself not go there.
Right, right. Yeah, we have to make like that conscious effort to put it
Hmm.
behind where like I feel
Exactly.
like men it just comes naturally.
Exactly. So to find out then that I'm like, he had feelings for her, that he would tell her he loved her, whether or not it was true or not, he will say, no, he actually didn't, but whatever. That felt worse to me
Yeah.
because I'm like, I'm not giving my emotions to anyone else. That's all you. And for me to find out that you were splitting your heart between me and this woman, that's not, that's so much worse.
hmm
So when it comes to this situation with Jimmy,
Jeremy.
Jeremy, and Laura, and now Sarah Ann, it's not like you just kissed her or had sex with her and went about your day and said, I had to get that out of my system. You sat with her hours and hours talking to her. You talked to
Yeah.
her at the bar. And then when come closing time, you talked to her in the parking lot. Then when
Yeah.
it came time for her to be like, okay, I need to go home, you drove her home and talked to her more.
Yeah.
It's like you clearly something was going right in your mind that you continuously talk to her.
hmm
Like
Yeah. It could be as
telling.
simple as like I just want to still be around her. And that's like,
And that's enough.
yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but I would do the exact same thing that Laura did if my boyfriend did that to me.
hmm
Clearly, there's something holding you to that person.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let you do that. And I'm not going to let my heart be trampled on anymore.
hmm
I
No, she stood by her business, and I give it to Laura. That's so hard.
it is. It is.
Yeah, and she never gave in.
And I'm happy she didn't.
Yeah, good for her, man.
Because look what he ends up doing, which we'll get to. But I got choice words for her too. Anyway,
Mhm.
before we head to the group, we still have some Chelsea and Jimmy. And guys, I
Oh my
wrote
God.
a page, I think, yeah, a full page of them because, my God, of course, there's always a, they need a, I'm going to say, I'm a drinker. I do drink, but I don't drink to get drunk.
Hmm.
So I've never been drunk a day in my life. I've been real close, but not drunk. Don't have serious conversations when drinking. It doesn't go good. We've all seen Jersey Shore, correct? Every time there was a huge blowout between like Sammy and Ron, it was it was because of the drink. Stop it. Because this is what happens. Anyway, let's get into it. Before we get to the fight though.
Okay.
She's meeting his family. I said that his dad looks like Santa. He looks so cute.
Hmm.
His family just looks so adorable. So I kind of liked his little family. Very, south. They have a, definitely from wherever the fuck they're from. And they're just cute.
Wait,
Anyway,
sorry, side note. Is this taking
mhm,
place in South Carolina or North Carolina?
I think it's north. I always get
Okay, okay.
confused because their capitals are like, so North Carolina is Charlotte
Yeah.
and then south. So did I say
It's cool.
north? South is Charleston. No, wait. Where are we? They're in Charlotte, right? So
Yeah.
then south is Charlotte. Charlotte. Yeah.
No.
No,
Isn't South Columbia?
Columbia.
Is it Columbia or something like
What's
that?
Columbia?
Like the main city.
And is there a South Carolina? Is there Columbia in South Carolina?
I- I'm Googling this because I know
Please
there's
do.
something,
I thought it was
maybe it's
Charlotte.
not Columbia, but it's something. Oh,
I
maybe
thought it
you're
was
right.
Charleston.
Oh, I see it. Yes.
Yeah,
Charlottesville. Charleston.
Charleston.
No,
Like the
capital is Columbia. Oh, wow. Sharon
what?
is smart
I didn't
sometimes.
even know there was a Columbia in. Well, I didn't even know there was a Columbia. Bad
Yeah.
choice. Why didn't
Capital.
you do? Why did you do Charleston? Like the dance. That's where the dance originated. Was in Charleston. Come on.
Yeah. But I don't
Anyways,
think it's in South Carolina. I think this is taking place in North Carolina.
yeah, we're in North Carolina, not
Okay.
not South.
Oh, you're just saying, why didn't you put your capital as Charleston?
Yeah, but
Oh,
either way, it still C's for both of them, and it's
oh
really
yeah.
confusing.
Yeah. Look at us struggling right now.
Exactly. No, we're in North, but North Carolina still
Oh,
has that country feel, even though it's
yeah.
yeah.
North Carolina's capital is Raleigh.
Oh, right, right. I should have known. Yeah, right. So, but still,
Yes. But
Charlotte is still big.
I think Love is Blind is taking place in,
Charlotte,
yes.
yes,
Hmm.
not Riley.
Yeah.
Okay, so Riley
Okay.
is the capital. Charlotte is not, but I think Charlotte is like the largest city in North
Yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah. If you think about North Carolina, I hear more about Charlotte than I do about Riley.
Yeah, I mean, I hear between Charlotte and Greenville because I also watch My Big Fabulous Life and they live in Greenville.
Okay, I never heard of Greenville.
Yeah, and I think she actually moved to Charlotte at one point too, and then she
Hmm.
went back to Greenville when her mom got sick.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Babs. She's so missed.
Oh, R.I.P.
Anyway, oh, she was like they did a big thing on TLC. We've had people die in other shows, but when Babs died, her
Mhm.
mom, they did like a whole like in memory thing. Like they would do like you come out of a show and they would just go straight to, you know,
Yeah.
in memory of her and because she was so loved. Anyway,
Yeah.
enough of that.
Also, sorry,
Enough of Whitney.
but before we get off the topic of geography,
Mhm.
um, Actually, never mind. I feel like that's a conversation we'll have off this. Because I'm gonna go on the spiel, but I'm like, it's so irrelevant to Love is Blind. So let's go. Let's just go back to Love is Blind.
Okay, okay. So yeah, so anyway, so like his family seems so cute, and she thinks like, the reason she's ready for get married, she's settled in her career, she's ready for this, like, kind of just because you're settled in your career does not necessarily mean you're ready to be someone's wife. Anyway,
Yes.
um, so they say they actually have talked about kids, which we kind of know they have talked about kids. They're telling his family he wants to have six. That's too much. But um, they, what got me here is that she says they communicate well. When? When have you communicated well? Because what I'm saying is that you don't communicate well
Yeah.
at
And the
all.
fact that they said like, oh, we don't really, they're not fights. We're not fighting. It was just,
Are you
having these
kidding?
arguments that make me love them more and more after each argument. And I'm like,
You,
OMG.
Chelsea,
Red flag, red
girl,
flags.
you turned into the Hulk when he told you you were clingy.
Yeah.
You literally went in Hulk smash mode when he told you that. But you love him more and more every time. That sounds like they're making up with their bodies, which fun in the moment,
Mm.
not
Yeah, that
effective.
could be.
Take it from someone who knows it's not effective.
I think what also is like making Chelsea feel like she like loves Jimmy more and more after each argument because like she's like seeing that like, oh, like no matter how crazy I get, he sticks
He's
around.
D6 around.
So she feels more reassured and validated that she could be acting this way.
And this is not, I mean, what we're about to talk about in a minute with the next argument that happens, which literally was the day, like the day of or the next day, they're having
Yeah.
this argument. And I think it took him to literally say, I'm fucking done for her. But even when he said, like, I'm like in the moment, I'm done, she's like, goes to him and she's like, don't leave. Don't,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
We'll get to it because there's more to it than just like me being like, are you okay, ma'am? Because I swear she was telling him to leave. Anyways, we'll get to it. So
Hmm.
yeah, she says they communicate well. Not true, ma'am. But anyways, um, and he says that, what he pictures for his wife is exactly what Chelsea is. Okay. That tell yourself that to make yourself feel better. That's okay. Um, I mean, I'm not saying she's a horrible person. She's not a horrible person. She's just mentally unwell. And I will say that she did kind of come out to say she has been doing therapy since filming, that the show is actually paying for.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Who's doing therapy?
Chelsea.
Chelsea?
Chelsea. She has
That the
been doing therapy since filming the show, and the show helped her find the therapist, and they're also paying for the
Girl,
therapy.
are we watching a different Love is Blind? How did I completely miss that?
She didn't say that on the show. She said that on her TikTok.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah, she
I
said
missed
that
that part.
as of late because people are saying therapy, ma'am, therapy. So she's kind of
Yeah.
come forward and said, I have been doing it since filming ended, and the show's involved in all of
Oh,
that. Uh,
since the film and
mhm,
since filming ended.
since filming. So I think, because I kind of have a theory here, okay, either A, they're kind of saying, listen, you know, shit didn't go your way. So here's a therapist. Or B, you guys are now married. So therapy, because again, we're also going to remember that the creators of Love is Blind is also the creators of Married at First Sight, and they're very heavy with therapy throughout the process. Even though as of late, maybe they've been lacking a little bit in that. We won't get into Married at First Sight situations, but they're very heavy on therapy throughout the 2 months process of being married. So it could be that. It could be completely innocent. Maybe they're doing individual therapy, maybe they're doing couples therapy or whatever if they do get married. Or this went very terribly wrong. And now she needs therapy because he fucked her up. But those are the options.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, he does that. He can see his wife and her. And yeah, I mean, I don't think much else really happened here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think much else really happened here because it went really well. They like her. All's good in the world. Also, before I move on to the fight, I realized I forgot to mention this because I thought this was funny. Jeremy's mom, when he says what he tells her what happened with Laura, Jeremy's mom is like, well, guess I'm not getting a daughter-in-law after all, am I? I'm like,
Oh yeah. Like
"Oh,
she fully was
so
like,
funny.
yeah, she fully was like, no, this is a valid reason for you to lose a fiance, and you're stupid to think like you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
And the
was,
way he was dealing with it too, she was 100% valid to be like, yeah, I guess I lost a
exactly.
daughter-in-law.
I could
Yeah.
have had one before. You screwed that up. Could have had one this time. You screwed that up too.
Oh, I wish she said something to like kind of indicate that there was someone in the past.
But I bet he told her, don't mention her.
Yeah.
100% told her, don't mention her
Yeah.
because it looks bad, obviously.
100%.
Um, okay, so, all right. So now the fight. We're getting into the fight now. Johnny, he's feeling really good after her meeting the family, so all's great. Then, so I feel like this man can never do anything fun once he's married to her
Yeah. Or
because
right. He can't do anything right because how you gonna just be like, it was a good day, but you made me grumpy in the morning. And then that's what started this all. Like, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
exactly. And the thing is, like, listen, if my man wants to go out and do things, have his fun, do what he normally does, go for it. I don't care. She needs him up her ass. There's a difference, but for me, I don't care. Go do you, go have fun. Just tell me where you're at. Tell me when you're coming home. I don't care. Like, don't come home some godly awful hour of the night, but come home, keep me posted. That's it. She doesn't even want him to do that. He goes and so she says, off camera, you made me really upset and all of this and blah blah. You As soon as the cameras left, you went and you gone, you went showered, and then you went out to your friend's birthday or whatever the hell. And she was saying, the pod mates were there, some girl named Mackenzie, which I think we did see Mackenzie. And Mackenzie was kind of like, oh, Jimmy's here, why are you here? And all of this. And he's like, I didn't even see Mackenzie. So he's like, I didn't even see her.
Yeah. And
And
valid. Like, he doesn't even know how she looks like.
yeah, he said, I don't even know what she looks like. I didn't see her. And then she's like, did you see Jessica? Did you see Jessica? And she's like, no, I didn't see Jessica. I didn't see Mackenzie. I didn't see anybody. He's like, I was there for an hour. He was
Yeah.
there for only an hour.
Hour and a half to be specific. So your audience
Yeah.
doesn't come for you, but
Well, wasn't he gone a total of an hour and a half, but was like there
oh
for
yeah.
like an
So
hour?
yeah,
Or maybe even
maybe.
a little less than an hour?
Yeah.
So, because I think he said it's like a half-hour drive from there to where he was going. So I
Okay.
think he was
So
there for even less than an hour.
yeah.
He literally had one drink and dipped. That's
Yeah.
basically what happened. So,
And
yeah.
he's not there with pod people. He was there for
Mm-mm.
his friend, and pod people happened to be there because hello, we're all in one
We're
city.
all in one place. Everyone, some people know each other. Like, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But she's like, it's just too embarrassing that, like, there's pod people there and, like, I wasn't there. He's like, I told you to come.
Yeah.
You didn't want to come. She's like, well, I just wanted to go in bed and blah, blah. She's like, exactly.
Yeah.
I was going to go. The option was for you to come. You chose not to. So that's not my fault. all of this is because, God forbid, someone thinks there's a crack in the relationship. First of all, number one, Mackenzie, shut the fuck up. If she didn't want to be there, you don't have to question her and ask her, well, why aren't you here? Because you're just adding fuel to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just go up to Jimmy and ask Jimmy, oh, hi, I'm Mackenzie, by the way. Why isn't she here? And he could have told you, oh, she didn't want to come. She wanted to stay home. Um, you know, I wanted her to come, but she wasn't up to it. You didn't have to go to her and add fuel to it. Now, maybe Mackenzie doesn't realize the kind of person she is because she probably really put her best foot forward when in pods, but just, you could have just gone up to Jimmy and asked him. Jimmy's
This
right there.
is, yeah, this is my theory. My theory is that Chelsea so badly wants to put up this like act that she's like a chill girl because
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly how she came across in the pods, that she's a chill girl.
Mm-hmm.
Not much is gonna bug her. She's go with the flow. She understands. And then that's also like why Jimmy was like, oh, like it's just so much easier with you than it was with Jess, because Jess literally just was who she was. Like she wasn't putting up a front. She told you how it is and how she's going to be in a relationship. Um, and then Chelsea was more so laid back. And so I think that's also how she comes across with her friends. But then Chelsea changes when she's in a relationship. And that's when all her insecurities come up. And that's when she's like, actually, like, these things I'm not even cool with anymore. And which also is very manipulative if you're going to be changing your personality from like 0 to 100. When you know there's certain things that you're not comfortable with. So my theory is that she comes off as a chill girl, to until a certain point. So maybe that's until like they're exclusive. And so because of that, she's a shitty, sorry, Chelsea fans. She's a shitty ass person to be in a relationship at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she changed. But she may continue to be a decent friend. Like I think she's a good friend,
I think so.
but just a shitty girlfriend. Oh my
Yeah, which
gosh.
happens, can definitely happen.
Yeah. And Mackenzie got lost in the sauce. She probably was just thinking like, oh my God, like Chelsea's so chill. Why is she not here? Little does she know that Chelsea hates going out and hates her man going out for half an hour.
And that's the thing too, is this whole thing that she brings up is like, oh, you lied to me in the pods. You never told me that you liked going out. You told me you didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not true. You're now trying to paint a picture of him that's incorrect. He
Yeah.
told you, yes, he likes to chill. He likes to travel, but he said that he does go out from time to time. He told you that. So,
Which is crazy because you could see Jimmy like being like, did I not say that? Like he's
yeah,
been
no, he
so
did.
gaslight.
He did. He kind
Yeah.
of said the exact same thing to both of them in different ways, but he definitely told her from time to time, yes, he will like to go out, but he is a person who likes to go to bed early or whatever, but he will go out from time to time. He said that. And the thing is, Chelsea, you lied to him because
Yes.
you told him, oh, yeah, yeah, I do like going out sometimes. Like, that's great. Like, I do like going out, but I also like to do the Netflix and chill thing. Like, she said that to him. So you, ma'am, are the one who is lying. You're gaslighting him, actually. Not just
Yeah.
lying, you're actually gaslighting him.
Hmm.
So, are you kidding me? When she said that, I'm like, wait, no, yes, he told you that. And again, just because someone might say, oh, yeah, I'm a homebody or whatever, doesn't mean that they're a recluse.
Yeah.
Those are two different things.
Yeah.
He's a grown ass man. He doesn't need you, who's supposed to be his wife, telling him where he should go, where he should be, at what time he should be there, when he should be home. That is not up to you. You are partners. You're not a dictator.
Hmm.
And that drove me nuts. Because
You know,
again,
Jeremy is so much better. Not Jeremy. Jimmy is so much
Jimmy,
better than me
oh yeah,
because I like if she's like saying these things like, no, you didn't say that. No, I said this. I'll be like, babes, let's roll the clip. Like the way I would just take
right?
advantage of the fact that everything is being filmed. I'd be like, babe, let's
You
roll the clips.
realize that's exactly it. I would pull Matthew on. Oh, what was it, Matthew? There was somebody who said this. You no, actually, no, sorry, it wasn't. It wasn't on the show. I'm getting confused with Bachelor. There was
Okay.
literally someone on The Bachelor who was like, "You know, we're being filmed 24/7, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to lie about me,
Yeah.
really? Like, come on!
Real.
Like, it's just unreal the amount of just she has to turn things around to work in her favor, and that, ladies and gentlemen, if there's gentlemen here to listen, that's toxic.
Yeah.
This is the definition of a toxic relationship.
My mind was blown that she was literally was this is my like this was her like end all be all. I forget what it's called. Um for like for a person.
The straw
But
that brought the camel's back.
yeah, that's another way of saying it.
Mm.
But like yeah, the fact that like, oh, I can't be with someone who goes out. I can't. If this is you, I can't.
Right.
I'm
She
like, huh?
doubled down on like she's acting like she's acting like he's like a Jarrett. Remember Jarrett? Jarrett and
Oh
Ion?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She's acting like that's who he is, and that's not who he is.
Yeah.
You want to complain about someone going out too much? You should have been with him.
Hmm.
But like no, it was okay. Weirdest thing. Yeah. So she was just really like when he's like, I was only gone for a certain amount of time, blah blah blah. And she's like, but I don't want to be with somebody who wants to go out. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And I'm just like, ma'am, you're literally crying because he was away from you for an hour and a half. That is toxic behavior.
Yeah.
That is unstable or unstable, should sorry. It's unstable. It's not realistic. And the thing too is, I think like for her, there is no separation, nor should, in her mind, should there be any separation, or distance between them because he works from home. He doesn't have any reason to come out of the home. So why do you need to leave? And this is also the same person, and I think he mentions it here too, that your flight attendant. I think actually we talked about this. You talked about the fact that like you agree that yeah, going on the trips for work or whatever gives them that distance, gives them that separation, and it's healthy to have that. But yet in the same breath is freaking out because he went to acknowledge a friend's birthday for an hour and a half. I just don't see them, even if they say yes on decision day, I don't see them working out long term.
I would
This
be
doesn't change.
scared if
Mm.
they say yes.
Oh, I'd be terrified. I would literally be like, blink twice if you need assistance. Like, seriously. I would have the same level of worry as I did when Colleen and what's his face got married because something wasn't right with him either.
Hmm. Are they still together?
Just together.
Wow.
I think they just officially, like as of recently, just recently moved in together. Officially.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're still together. I don't get it. Matt and Colleen, that was the same. Anyway, I don't, anyways, let's get back to these crazy people. Um, so like I can't remember every little bit. I'm kind of just going based on my memory here, so you can fill in any gaps. Even though I have the notes, but I can't find it. Like I can't find where I am. Um, basically, he goes inside to go brush his teeth. She goes after him, and somewhere along the way, we went from talking about him going out with his friends or going out to his friend's birthday party or whatever, to you slept with her. We're talking now about him having female friends. Sorry, I didn't. We're talking about women that he's friends with. And
Yeah, essentially, like what it was is that the argument was like, oh, like, is this who you are? Do you always go out? You go out too often? And he's like, I'm literally going for my friend, for my friend. And then that's when she's like, oh, like, you know how embarrassing it is that Mackenzie messages me saying, where are you? And then he's just like, I don't even know who Mackenzie is. And like, I'm not even with the pod people. I'm with my friends. And then he's like, who is it? Was it just your two girlfriends? And then
mm,
and then he was kind of like hesitant. And then she was like, was it them? Was it them? And then he's like, yeah, they were there, but them and like like my eight other friends of mine, like guy friends of mine. Um, and then that's when she kind of goes like, um, like, oh, like that's when the whole like, I'm not comfortable with your girlfriends because you fucked her. And I was like, what?
and that's the thing. I want to know the timeline as to when he told her that he did have sex with one of them versus when she met them. Because
I
if it
definitely
was,
think it's
I
before.
think it's before too. Because
Yeah.
in the moment you acted like you had nothing, you felt had no
Yeah.
issues with the friendship. Listen, I've been friends with people that I have had sex with that is strictly platonic.
Mhm.
I'm thinking of one right now. Me and him have been friends longer than the one time I had sex with him. And that's that. And I've, we would talk. He would call me. We would talk, whatever. That's basically it. Just because someone has had sex with somebody does not mean that he's going to sleep with her again. I think there, it depends on everything. When did it happen? How long
Mhm.
ago did it happen? How many times did it happen? Is there
Yeah.
potential of it happening? If all of those answers are not problematic, then there's nothing for you to worry about. I'm sorry, it just isn't. And I think the
I also
biggest,
think, oh
go
yeah,
ahead.
continue.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, the other thing about like something that I feel like Chelsea needs to do is like she needs to have her like like these a list that like, oh, like this breaches my boundaries. Again, I can't find the word, but like, oh, like this is like something that I'm not gonna be comfortable with. And like rather than like trying and forcing yourself to stay in something where you know that
Mm-hmm.
like it's gonna forever bug you rather than leave, like
Mm-hmm.
that itself is like toxic as well, right? Like, because
Yeah.
you're just gonna hold on to it. You're just gonna continue to cause issues and cause fights and not be able to move on from it. And
Mm-hmm.
like, if it's because you've been cheated on with guys who, who still have sex with their friends who are girls, then like, don't put yourself in a situation to feel this insecurity. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let this be something that like you just won't be able to have in a relationship. Be strong about it and then just be like, okay, this is not going to work out because I know myself. Rather than like forcing yourself to stay in this, act like a chill girl and then know it's going to bug you and then continue to always cause fights or fully tell someone like you can't be friends with them.
I think because I've been in this situation too,
Yeah.
where I've been friends with a person that I had a sexual relationship with and been in a relationship and that person be uncomfortable with it. Initially, I did what Jimmy did. It's a hard no. I am not going to give up my friendship for your comfortability. I'm just not going to
Well,
do
I
it.
laughed when Jimmy said that. He's like, do you want me to just say it? Do you want me to? And he's like, well, I'm
I'm
not going
not
to do
doing
it.
it.
I was like, what?
I did the same thing. But as
Yeah.
time went on,
Hmm.
I realized that my partner's comfortability in the relationship, his needs and his wants trump the wants and the needs of the friend or
Yeah.
the friendship I have with that person. It takes
Yeah.
time. And I honestly think, again, I'm a person that realizes you got to play the long game. Chelsea needs to play the long game. You marry the man. You made this man cry during sex, okay? You have an upper hand here, but you
Hmm.
gotta play the long game. And then in a be the chill girl you think you are and literally say to him, listen, you know what? I've been really thinking. Your friendship with whoever it was that he had sex with, I can't remember who it is. The
I
friendship
didn't
you have,
say it was just
I don't
one
know
of the
if they,
two.
I don't know, one of the two of them, but the friendship you have with her, it really makes me uncomfortable. Could you, not necessarily saying end the friendship, but can you just take a little bit of a step back with it? Just make me feel a little more comfortable.
But also, like, I think you should genuinely, like, once, like, you're in a relationship with someone, there is a different, like, the friendship changes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I already would expect, like, there to be different boundaries when, you're in a relationship with someone and then how you are friends with another person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that already itself should, like, kind of change because it changes in general with any, like, all my friends, all my friendships, once, like, they're in a relationship, my friendship with them changes a little bit, alters a little
Hmm.
bit.
Yeah.
If I was like their first point of contact and then like we're like always hanging out, obviously that's going to be
That's gonna
less.
change. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And that's normal.
yeah. And
Um,
I don't know.
it's just, I don't know. I think the biggest bone of contention for her isn't so much that he may be hanging out with these people on a regular basis or anything. It's the fact that he had sex with one of them. That's all this is about. And I'm sorry, but we're all adults again here. There's more to the situation than whether or not he had sex with her once or twice.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's something that like she's just fully gonna get over because of her like past, like her triggers. So you know what I'm saying? Like that should have been her um her her end all be all thing where like I can't be with someone because I know myself with someone who has this kind of thing with their girlfriend.
But I also don't, I mean, I don't know if this is, you see a lot with every person, but there are going to be people, because again, we're all human and whatever, but there are going to
Yeah.
be people who are going to be friends with at least maybe one person or maybe a couple of people who they may have had sex with once or twice in the past.
Hmm.
You can't avoid that
No, for sure.
necessarily.
And
Now,
there might be people who are friends with like their ex
as long
because
as there's boundaries in place, like it's not like a you, me, and my ex situation for those who
yeah.
know the show. If it's not a situation like that, then yeah, as long as there's boundaries in place. But if it's weird, then you know what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah,
Don't
that's what
get
I'm
into it.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Chelsea, come on.
Yeah.
I think like, these kind of like crazy moments she's having, um, like it's because she's not secure with, her boundaries,
Mm.
like what she should be okay with and what she should like walk away from.
Oh man. But anyway, I think that also the biggest thing here is that,
I think it's just a desperation of wanting to get married. Sorry, I had to say it.
oh, I think so too. 100% think so. Um, but I also think like this whole thing of her bringing this up, did you notice how very quickly and kind of under his breath he literally said that was not supposed to be said on camera?
Yeah, he literally said like I don't want
This
to
was
talk about
not
it while.
supposed to be said on camera.
Yeah, he said I literally told you
Off
this
camera,
off camera and
because not
then
only for him, but it
yeah,
also disparages the girl he had sex with.
exactly. Like I like because we talked about this and we spoke about this privately and we
Mm.
went through that, that's when we decided like she was also uncomfortable with showing her face on camera, but then because we had this conversation, I we did show her on camera. So the fact that now you're bringing it
And
up
now we
on
know it's
camera,
one of the two of
yeah,
them. We may
that
not know exactly
and
who it is, but we know it's one of them.
no, the internet will find out.
Oh,
Let me
the
tell you
internet
that.
will find out exactly, and that is the thing. And he's so aware of that. So
Yeah.
that's another thing he she broke. his trust.
Yes.
She crossed a boundary.
Yes.
And that is also disrespectful in of itself.
And like Jimmy handled that very well as well. Cause like this guy barely raised his voice. He was stating facts, even though he was being thrown like BS. Um, and like he stood by his own business during this fight, not after, but during this fight.
Yeah, it's, yeah, but, and that's exactly it, kind of going into that now. He literally tells her, I'm done. Like, I don't know if I can marry you in this situation because not only is she saying all of this, but the thing that I think really crossed it for him is when she said to him, I don't think you love me. Or I
Yeah.
don't think, like, you're now taking a situation and making it about, I don't think you love me. Number one, he went out for an hour and a half. Number two, he had sex with whoever this person was prior to him knowing you existed. And all of those things make you think he never loved you.
Yeah, even
How
though
do we
he
get
literally
from there
says
to
it
that?
every single day, he literally tries to show her. And he has a point. He's like, if I'm what I'm doing now is not enough, I can't do more.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. But yeah, he literally says, I don't think I can do this anymore. I don't, like, I think he was literally on the way out. He was ready to leave.
Hmm.
And she kind of goes after him and she's like, don't leave. Like I said before, and was like, again, this is all toxic behavior. You're literally pushing him away. But then as soon as he says, okay, you win, I'm going to go now, you are like, no, wait, come back here and love me. That's not normal. And it's actually, that's why I can't stand her. I can't watch her. It's painful for me to watch her
Hmm.
when she does things like this. I don't understand, but nonetheless, they do talk more calmly. He does say, listen, there's many things you could say to me, but don't question how I feel about you. Basically, they make up. That's basically what happens. They just make up. Like he literally says, like, just don't cross those boundaries again. Like, I know how I feel about you. I express it. I do all of that stuff. And yeah, like it just feels though like it's never enough. And I think he also does say like this does feel kind of like a drunken fight. 'Cause she was drunk.
Hmm.
She was drunk during this. She could she was slurring her words. And like even though it may be a drunken fight and maybe you're not being rational, true. In the words of Brandy from 90 Day OG, guys, drunk was it? What was it again, guys? I can't remember now. Drunk words are sober thoughts. There we go.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
It also really annoyed me that like even during that she was like, oh yeah, but like you also did some stuff. Like it was the both of us. It's the both of us need to do this. Both. I'm like,
Right.
sis,
This one's
it was
on
all
you.
you.
Even though you guys were like a couple, like, there are still things that are your responsibility, and there are still things that are his. You know, it's just, and in this case, what went down was your issue, your responsibility to fix,
Hmm.
not his. Anyway, so yeah, it's just, they're a mess, and I don't have confidence in them actually making this work, even if they do say yes on decision
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
So let's go to AD and Clay before we go into the group thing, too. He's meeting her mom, and basically, I'm just going to say this straight up right here, right now. It goes really well, guys. He talks a really great game. And like I feel like her mom came out of this being like, that's a man. Like she actually said the first I think she's like, that's a man. And I'm just like, sure. I mean, again, I don't think Clay is a bad person. I don't think he is like an Uche in that sense. But
Whoa.
there I compare the two. But I
Yeah.
don't think he's like an Uche in that
Oh, okay.
sense. I think Uche is he's very aware of how he comes off.
Yeah.
As where I think with Clay, his situation is more him rectifying the things that he's endured as a child
Hmm.
and sugarcoating those things. Instead of him saying, my dad is a fuck up, he sugarcoats it instead because that's his dad. And I think because of that, like he has you know what it kind of reminds me of? I don't know if anyone's seen the movie Trainwreck with, have you seen the movie Trainwreck? With, Amy, damn it, what's her name? The comedian. I know I'm gonna,
Oh, Amy Schumer or
that's
whatever.
it. Yes, Amy Schumer. Um, and it's very similar in that sense because even like her in the movie, she was mirroring her father and how her father was and how he kind of dealt with relationships, so to speak. That's how I feel about Clay. He mirrors like what his dad was doing when it came to relationships and whatnot. And that's where I think the problem lies with him. But what I did think was incredible here, that her mom said, is stop taking on the problems of your parents. Those are not your problems to deal with. Those are our problems to deal with. You aren't the ones who were the reasons or should be taking on the reasons of your parents divorcing. Yes, it affects the kids in a different way, but stop worrying about whether or not your marriage is going to work because your parents' marriage didn't work. That history does not need to repeat itself, is basically what she's trying to say. But even after she kind of has this really great heart to heart conversation with him about those problems are not your problems, he still doubles down later on and is like, well, I just don't know because my dad, and my parents road split up. And that's the other thing too, is her mom says, you're looking at all the negatives of your parents' relationship. Now, I don't know how much positives there are because apparently the man's been cheating on his mom from the very beginning, and we don't know. But she says they were married for 25 years. That is a huge accomplishment. Her and AD's dad were married for 12. Those are huge accomplishments. So look at the positives as well.
Hmm.
Don't just look at the negatives. Again, though, I think his dad was a dog and was cheating on his mom, probably even before they were married. So I don't know how many, and I think he knows that. That's the thing. He's kind of said it, that his dad was cheating on him throughout the entire marriage. His mom looked the other way for
Yeah.
a long time, which, especially when there's kids involved, you tend to want to look the other way, but also don't look the other way. Don't do things to fix your relationship, like, um, for the kids. You're going to do better for them, honestly, if you just say, we're not cut out for this, as hard as that
Yeah.
might be.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing. The other thing too that I know we're all about like the black love, which is as a black person is very important. I want to see that black love, and we don't see that all the time. So it's a beautiful thing when we do see it. These two, though, are not what I consider like amazing black love.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've definitely seen it. We've seen it with Brett and Tiffany. That is my idea of what I want my love to look like. I want it to be whatever they're doing it right kind of situation. I want that unconditional love that, it doesn't matter what's going on. Like that person, honestly, it's just love. In the end of the day, it's just more about like, just, yeah, it's just different. I can't explain it. It's just how that's that feeling you get as a Black person. I just don't get that with Clay and AD. And how dare you, mom, compare these two to Michelle and Barack Obama? Who the fuck do you think you
I
are?
mean, that's her daughter.
I
Okay.
understand, but don't be comparing this atrocity to this is still, can we not, let's not be goldfish here. Let's remember this is the same guy who literally told her in the pause, well, even if the emotional attraction is just tenfold, if you look like shit, I'm not going to marry you.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that. And you want to sit here and compare those two people to Michelle and Barack Obama? Barack Obama saw her immediately and not only saw her beauty, but more so what like she stood for.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't have mattered what she looked like. I truly feel that. I've seen like there's a movie out there about their love, which is a decent movie. And I'm sorry, but no, Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, they are not and will not be. They'll never be that. I'm sorry. I don't know who else you
Valid.
can, I don't know who else you compare them to. Um, Cardi B and Offset, let's say that.
Oh my gosh.
That's their love. That's who they are. Maybe I'm being mean, but Offset cheated on her too. And I do think if they get married, Clay is going to cheat on her. He will cheat on her. Maybe not right away, but it's going to happen. He is going
I
to cheat
really
on her.
hope not,
I
but
hope not for her sake.
yeah.
And I really hope that he can end maybe what could be considered like a curse, a family curse or something. But I
Hopefully he
have
also,
confidence in him.
I hope he also started therapy after filming. Like
I do too.
finally.
And not couples therapy. That comes last. He needs individual therapy because
Oh
he's
yeah.
always like, I'll do therapy with you. I'll do therapy with you. No, sir, you need one-on-one individual therapy without AD there.
Mm-hmm.
That is what you need first and foremost. But, and that's the thing. I think like it takes a lot again for a Black man to admit, especially, I think all men, but especially Black men to admit they need that
Yeah.
help because they don't want to come across as looking weak. But we have to start showing our Black men that it is okay, that they're not 100% strong. They're not that man that, they're told they need to be. They have emotions and feelings as well
Mm-hmm.
that deserve to be taken care of and validated. And I hope that she seems like the type, but I just hope she's the kind of woman that is like, no, you need individual therapy.
Yeah.
Right now, we're okay. We'll deal with us later. You need to deal with you first.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that she advocates for that for him if they make it. So,
Yeah.
um, so she does later on ask him like if he worries whether or not he actually will cheat. He says, when I look at the now, he's not worried. But of course not. Right now, you're in the honeymoon stage. Y'all still learning each other. And from my understanding, they're fucking. So he's living in the novelty of her right now. and the thrill that brings when you're newly discovering somebody, that's going to grow old. And that's why I'm concerned. I'm not concerned whether or not he'll cheat now. I'm concerned he'll cheat later because I feel like men like him needs to chase that thrill, needs to get that adrenaline. And you get that adrenaline rush if you take it outside your marriage and find someone new. And that that's scary. I'd be terrified of that personally if I was her, because that's how like you go into a territory of potentially like illnesses being involved. Like it's just, I don't know. But he does say that he does worry about like later and whatever. But so he then kind of they talk about like he just doesn't understand like why like the actual wedding is so important. I also don't know if he actually doesn't even understand the institution's marriage, why all of those things are important. Um, like why are we putting such a heavy thing on that? But all of those things is a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
This person doesn't. This if he's not honestly talking about the institution of marriage yet, he will, because he's worrying about like why is the wedding so important?
Yeah.
Why we have to put such a huge thing on that? You know, blah blah blah. And it's just like because that is the gateway into your marriage. So then what is next? You're going to complain about why is marriage so important? Because, well, my father clearly didn't think marriage was important.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. He doesn't take what went on between his parents and um and learn what not to do.
Yeah.
He's taken what's happened with his parents and is like, well, I guess I'll do that. His father's a horrible influence on everything else. Like that's why though he needs to go into therapy and fix what's been done. But he has to
Yeah.
want to do it. He
Or
has to
like,
want to do it.
yeah, like to seek it. Like, I think he's just like hoping that like 80 will help him, 80 will fix it, 80 will sort it out. And it's just like, you can't really put it all on her.
Again, and that is the thing I'm going to say right now too. I went through that too with my current,
Mm-hmm.
not with cheating, but that's what, I mean, that did happen too, but wasn't about that. If a man comes to you and asks and says to you, I want to do X, Y, and Z because I know you can fix me. I know you can regulate those things for me. Like with him, um, I won't go too much into it, but he does deal with his limitations and when it comes to certain things that he will put into his body. And well, let's kind of leave it at that. But I, this was early on in the relationship, and I told him, I said, listen, yes, I will do my best to make sure you're doing right by you. But at the end of the day, I can't fix you. There's a reason why you can't stop doing X, Y, and Z or know your limits with those things. There's a reason why, and I can't fix that for you. You have to want to fix that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And 6, 7 years later, he's doing all the things that he needs to do to rectify whatever is going on with him. Does he deal with, you know, sometimes the struggle of those things? Yes. But he's advocating for himself because he knows I have to do that. I have to advocate for me. I can't expect you, my girlfriend, to fix those things for me. It's
Yeah.
not up to you. But that is exactly what Clay is asking. He's asking for AD to fix him. And that's not up to her. She cannot fix him.
Yeah.
We're not Coldplay out here trying to say, I will try to fix you because it's not going to work. That is a song, y'all. It's a good song, but it's not real.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like and again, it's going to get old. She should not have to be taking on not only a husband, but then a child to be on top of it. Because basically what he's going to end up being.
Yeah.
Tell me what I should do. And at the end of the day, she's not going to be there every minute of every day to make sure you're not going to cheat on her.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the other thing too is she says to him, listen, whatever your decision is on decision day, whether it's yes or no, I will live with that. But
Yeah.
also know that if you do say no on decision day, it ends there. Just like Nick Lachey always says, do you get married or do you say goodbye forever?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to say goodbye forever, y'all. She's taking that literally.
Yeah.
And good for her, she should.
Yeah.
Amy and Johnny, he meets her dad and it goes well. The end.
Yeah. It
Because
was really cute though.
it was very cute because she was just so worried that it wouldn't go well
Yeah.
with her dad. But that, but it did. And he was so sweet. He's like, I still look at her as a little girl and running with her backpack, but I know she's not that anymore. And it was just so sweet. Her dad is so adorable, by the way.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
love her dad. But it was just so sweet. But he's like, do we have your blessing to get married? And he's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, she's making it seem that it was going to be this hard thing and her dad was going to be so against all of this. But he really doesn't understand this whole thing and the quickness of it. But I think he also loves his daughter and supports her and trusts her.
Yeah.
So yeah, it all kind of went well there. So that's why I said we're just gonna skip on by that because not a lot really happened there. Okay, so we're finally at the point that we all are waiting for. The group. Everybody. So Clay's gonna be there later, but honestly, not much really happens with Clay and AD through this. Except AD does get herself involved in other things, so we'll get to that. But Clay and AD are actually golden throughout this whole thing. It's everybody else. So Laura gets there, I think, before Jeremy. And I think someone asked, like, oh, where's Jeremy? And she's like, the fuck do I know? Like, I don't fucking give a shit where the fuck he is. Is he supposed to be here? And she's kind of hoping he doesn't fucking show up, but he does, obviously. And when he does, she's like, for fuck's sakes. And when Sarah Ann shows up, she's like, oh my fucking God. I wanted Laura to confront Sarah Ann.
Yeah.
Why didn't she confront Sarah Ann?
Maybe she knew she couldn't handle it. Like, you know what I'm
Maybe,
saying?
maybe. And that's true.
Yeah. And she also made a point where like technically like Sarah Ann doesn't like although like she disrespected her and she's like, I don't even want any business with you, but like Sarah Ann didn't really owe anything to Laura. It was mainly like Jeremy. So maybe she
I
saw
do
no
agree with
reason to
that.
talk
I
to
do
her.
agree with that. But again, been here, done that. I'm of two minds. Yes, she didn't owe you the loyalty. That was up to Jeremy. But as far as I'm concerned, if a woman knows that you are in a relationship and at that engaged to be married and or potentially married, and she
Mhm.
still gets involved with your man, I'm sorry, all gloves are off. I'm coming for you too. Because you knew and you disrespected me. You
Yeah.
disrespected my marriage. You broke my home.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking come for you too. But she didn't. And maybe you're right. Maybe she just couldn't handle it in the moment because
Mhm.
she is like at that point, she was very emotional when she said that. So I
Yeah.
think maybe she still is in that. But I think like, I don't know what I would have done in the moment, but actually, that's not true. I do know what I would have done in the moment because I've been there. I literally would have gone and confronted her because I tried to do that in my situation.
Mhm.
So I probably would have gone and confronted her and said, what the fuck? He didn't fucking choose you. So you're so goddamn desperate that you have to go running back to the person who didn't fucking say yes to you. She
Honestly,
also
I
needs
think
therapy.
yeah, mhm. I think if I were in this situation, like nothing Sarah Ann could say would even make me feel remotely better, nor
Oh
nothing
no,
I would say to Sarah Ann would make me feel better. So I think I
I didn't
would,
never said it would make me feel better.
yeah, no, no, for sure.
I'm gonna discomfort you. I don't think it's gonna
Yeah,
make me necessarily feel better.
yeah. Like, let me make Sarah Ann feel worse. 100%. I see what you're
That's
saying.
the goal. I want to make
Uh,
you feel like shit.
yeah. I think I would avoid I think I would do what Laura did, which is like I will barely speak to Jeremy, and like if Jeremy wants to like bring it up, I'm gonna give you like the hardest time and like come
Mm,
for your throat.
mm.
Um and
But then knock over
but
Sarah Ann.
yeah, or to anyone else, I'll remain unfazed.
I guess I choose violence.
Yeah, probably. But I honestly like what I would love is like my friends going after her, and
Mm.
it's what AD did. So,
That's exactly it though. Like in my, just to kind of put it in my situation, when it
mhm,
happened to me, I saw red. I'm a
yeah.
Taurus, guys. I saw red when I found out, when I lost my job, and all I wanted in that moment was my ex to just make me feel better. So I was
Mhm,
going to go over to him and see him. And for him to literally say to me, "Oh no, like I'm getting my hair done." And I knew what that meant. I knew the woman that he cheated on me with was there.
mhm,
And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was seeing red. So not only did I want to confront the bitch and tell her, "Sit the fuck away from him," and to not only that, but like fuck him up too. Don't think it was just coming for her. I wanted to come for him too. But I also had my friend there with me. And when I called her and I told her what happened, she's like, "Oh no, where the fuck are you right now?" And I was in a cab on the way back home to get my car. She's like, "Okay, I'm gonna meet you at your house. You're gonna get dressed, and then we're gonna go right back to Toronto, and I'm gonna fuck some shit up." So it wasn't just me; it was my
yeah,
friend there. I had my friend there too, being like, "We're gonna fuck shit up."
yeah.
We literally on the way there. This is when Rihanna's "Bitch Better Have My Money" came was out, and we were literally on the way being like, "Bitch better have my money." Like we were just going off just for us to get there, and the bitch wasn't there. But anyways, it's fine.
Wow.
Oh, he told her to leave. He literally
Yeah,
said, "You need to get the fuck out of here." And now,
yeah, yeah,
because A, I knew what she looked like. So if
yeah.
she was even in the area, I would have seen her. And he knew, because also she was pregnant. I didn't know that at the time.
Hmm.
But also that too. He didn't know. Like, well, obviously no one's going to beat up a pregnant woman. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
But that would have made it way worse. But anyway, yeah. So I'm of the mind of I choose violence.
for sure. I think, um, I mean, I wish, and I think I just would have cried. That's why I would have that
Oh, I would have
front
cried.
of being unfazed.
Shit, I
I
would
don't
have
want
done
them to see that
everything
we
you
cried.
did. I
Yeah,
would have done everything you did, and then also what I would do.
I love that.
But I wouldn't have cried in front of him. Like I would have cried
Yeah.
off in a corner. He wouldn't know it because I would have been fueled by the anger.
Mhm.
But I would have done
See, the
everything
sucky
you did
part
and
about
everything I did.
me is that when I get angry, I cry. So I can't even
Oh,
avoid it.
I cry later. The emotions hit me later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I am in the moment of anger, and then I cry.
Yeah.
So I come for you, I come for him, and then I cry.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's what I do. But yeah, so she doesn't really want to talk to him. She doesn't want to deal with him. Blah blah blah. Um, we do find out that Laura did leave. They're still in this up in the air place, but she did leave, packed her shit, and dipped. And we did kind of talk about this. I'm kind of going all over the place. We did talk about this for a little bit. He's like, "Listen, I tried doing all of these things. I tried to give her flowers. She told me to fuck off. I tried to, talk to her. She said, I don't want to talk to you. I tried all of these things. You know what? It just wasn't being received. So fuck it." And I said, "That's it. That's all you did. That's all
And
you did."
to take note, he didn't start doing these things until 3 days later.
When his mom told him, probably, "You're a fuck up."
Yeah,
Basically, like, it's just, sir, that you're doing the least.
literally.
She doesn't need fucking flowers that are gonna die anyways. She wants a fucking apology. Maybe a gesture. You must know where the fuck she lived to some extent because y'all see each other's homes.
Hmm.
So
Or
you,
X production. Like, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure they wouldn't be like, oh, we can't disclose that
maybe
information.
not. They might not have actually disclosed the information because it is privacy. They're not married yet. So
I
they
don't
might not
doubt.
have. but they may have given her, but he has her number. I think that's the least they could do is give someone's number out to somebody. But I don't
Oh,
think
he
they would.
had it.
Yeah, but he already had that. So, but I think you must have had by some memory where she lives. Go to her home,
Or include her
surprise her.
friends. Be like, yo, can you please like
Yeah, do
take her here so
something.
I could see her and do this for
Yes,
her? Like
do
there's like
something
nothing.
grand.
It's because he didn't see no wrong. That's the
No.
problem.
And he still doubles down and said, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, again, playing devil's advocate, even though I don't believe it. If you did just talk to her, that in and of itself, because you were there with her for hours, is what you did
Mhm.
wrong.
Yeah. And then lie about it too. He
And
was
then
really
lie about it.
trying. Yeah.
Yeah. Says, oh, like, that's the thing. He lied about it before he did eventually admit, oh, yeah, I was with her.
Yeah.
Like, so how does she not know that what you're telling her now is only part of the truth?
Hmm.
And you're still leaving other things out.
Yeah.
So they do eventually talk because he has to talk to her. They do eventually talk. And she says, in all so many words, fuck you, fuck her. I don't trust you. I don't believe any word that comes out of your mouth. And I'm done. I don't want to marry you. Why would she want to marry somebody who can't respect her and her boundaries? Like I said,
Tan- Tanika, you know
do
what got me?
what?
You know what really, like, at this point, I'm like, you are the villain, Jimmy. Is when I think you're gonna also bring this up. So sorry for like jumping.
Mhm.
Um, but when he was just like, yeah, like just can you please come home? Like blah blah blah. Like can we please like try blah blah? And she's like, no, like fuck you. Like why am I gonna come home to what? Like you didn't do anything
Mhm.
or whatever he was saying. But then he like completely switched, and he's like,
Yeah.
well, your things are already packed anyways.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah. I would have actually would have forgotten that. He literally says, oh, well, your shit's packed anyway.
Yeah. After she's like refused to come home, and then she's like, so you already packed it and put it. He was like,
He
yeah.
pulled some bachelor shit when they go on dates and they have to pack their shit. Just in case he says, go away. That's
That's
literally what it went. He planned this well. Because what would you have done if she decided to come home with you that night and her shit's packed?
hmm
Actually, better yet, I don't think her shit was packed.
No,
It
I don't
wasn't
think so
packed.
either.
He he just told her that to hurt her.
Yeah.
It was not packed.
Like I
Fuck
doubt
him.
he just, yeah. Because
Mm-mm.
also you have to be a straight up stupid idiot if you wanted to be like, please come home. And then like, you know that shit's packed at home, and
Yeah.
that's gonna be another problem.
No, the shit's not packed. He just wants to
No.
hurt her.
Yeah. Like just be like, all right, well, you know what? I also didn't want this. I also, that's my part of your shit. Like it was just so,
He can't lose.
no.
He has to have the upper hand on somebody. And exactly that. Like, so that's kind of, we'll talk about closing them up and then we can quickly talk about the other stuff.
Hmm.
So when Sarah Ann shows up, and obviously there's tension. And what I loved here is that she kind of acts like she didn't do anything wrong, blah, 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 and whatever. And when I'm going to skip ahead here and find when she talks to AD. AD decides to talk to Sarah. And she says, like, I saw the dims. Okay. Like, do you not think that it's a little bit inappropriate to kind of
Sorry, you
send?
just said dims.
I did. Um, did you think like that's inappropriate? They're engaged. He didn't pick you, blah, blah, blah. And Sarah's like, okay, well, listen, sorry to interrupt, but you're not sorry. But like, it's not that serious. Like, whatever. And she's like, okay, but let me finish my question before you, jump in and interrupt me. Let me finish my fucking question. And he's like, he didn't choose you. He did not choose you. So Like, did he leave that door open to you? Like, I'm trying to understand, like, kind of what happened here. Of course, Sarah says yes, he
Yeah.
did leave the door open. Now, when he broke it off with her, did he leave the door open?
I think
He,
Sarah Ann was referring to like, oh, he did leave the door open from their like 5 a.m. conversation.
oh,
That's when
that's
she got
not
the
what,
insight.
that is not what AD asked.
Yeah, exactly. So AD then was like, oh, so like before they like during the pods. And
Mm,
then she was like, oh no, no. So I was like, did you not know they were engaged? Like that's how why AD had to like dig deeper to understand like when did you like, you know, what really pushed you to send that message?
yes, because that is the main thing. You sent that message
Yeah.
before you had this 5 hour talk.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you do that? Because that's where the problem lies. If it wasn't for A, B wouldn't have probably happened.
Yeah.
So you still, even though Jeremy is the one who's the engaged party here, but you still did something. Like, that's what we're trying to get at here. Now, do I think he left the door open to her after this 5 hour talk? Yes, I do. I do believe her. We're trying to get to the bottom of the beginning half of this, not so much that. And you're not answering the questions really to anybody's satisfaction. So, yeah, she says, like, it just is not appropriate to do that. Again, he didn't pick you. And basically, you infiltrated someone's relationship. And the thing, too, is like, Sarah's like, well, why do you care so much? Because she's friends with Laura. Because the process is important to people who are still involved in it. And yes,
Mm-hmm.
she says, listen, I don't care that much. You're not fucking my man. Because if you basically, that's because if you were, I'd fuck you up too. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's what's going to happen. But she's trying to understand, like, the way you're going about life. Because this is, everybody, this is not the first time she's done this. Infiltrated somebody else's relationship. She's probably had sex with married men. She's probably broken up people's relationships or attempted to. She's done this before because of how easy it was for her to just do it. She's done this before. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And I have no respect for her. But that's basically it. She thinks everything is okay. That what she did, she didn't do anything wrong. Just like him. They're perfect. They're perfect for each other. But AD pretty much finished this off and basically says, you're trash. Not in those many words, but basically,
I
you're
really
trash.
love your paraphrasing. But
Thank
yeah.
you. You're trash. You're honestly, I don't care if people want to be, listen, I like being a slut to my man. That's fine because I'm not hurting nobody else. But if you're going to act like a whore to other people and ruin other people's relationships, well, the title is now yours. And it's like, you're a horrible person. You broke someone's engagement and you hurt Laura in the process.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to girl code? Because you clearly don't stand by it.
No, she was like her reasoning was like, oh, I'm a realist and like I was
That has
very much
nothing to do
part
with
of
it.
the experiment as Laura and like I didn't get to say what I need to say in the pause and I'm like, no, girl, like
Then, then don't bother.
yeah.
Don't bother.
Or
And
wait, like any person for this like like this, pod reunion. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm,
she could have said it today.
just like Jimmy and Jessica did, just like Trevor and Chelsea
Exactly.
did,
Exactly.
you don't get the right to do what you did
Yeah.
because you didn't get to say what you wanted to say in the pod. And
Hmm.
she actually thinks that if she challenged him more, that he would have changed his mind.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have changed his mind in the moment. I think he still would have gone with Laura. And I said that from then because the relationship, the connection he had with Laura in the pods was more realistic than the connection he had with Sarah Ann in the pods.
Hmm.
They're going to try and date. Listen, I'm going to say this right now. Jeremy and Sarah Ann are the equivalent of Jackie and cauliflower ears. I can't remember his
Oh,
name
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
They are the equivalent. And guess what? That didn't work either.
Josh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He has cauliflower ears, so you knew what I
Yeah,
was
you
talking about.
know. Hmm.
But that is the equivalent. They didn't work out either. These two idiots are not going to work out. They're just not. They only work for a few years. That's it. But to end them off, he and Sarah Ann do talk amongst themselves. And this is how I know something definitely happened between them because they're so easy with each other. She kind of says, like, who cares if, like, whatever, we talked or whatever, like, we have this connection, whatever. Like, they're both doubling down on their behavior with each other. And add insult to injury in the moment is when he's like, fuck it. I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
We're done. Me and her are done. Let's go and jet ski. They're literally having a date in front of his now ex fiance.
Hmm.
Fuck you. Fuck her. I hope you two, I wish you two the best. Sean Robinson style. If you watch 90 Day Fiance, you know. I know Sharon, you don't. But
It's okay.
anyway, that's basically just her underhanded way of saying shut the fuck up and
Hmm.
go away. She really doesn't wish you well.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's just kind of ending them off so we don't have to talk about them ever again.
Hmm. I honestly, I feel like Jeremy's gonna be a type of guy who doesn't show up to the reunion.
No, you know what they're going to do? They're going to pull a Jackie and Josh. They're going to show
Oh,
up to the reunion on Zoom.
this is honestly, I have no faith in the reunion.
I don't
They're not
either.
even gonna give me what I want.
I hope they do. I mean, I was not disappointed with last year's reunion, except for the fact that Uche wasn't there.
Hmm.
Fucker. I can't believe he did his own reunion after the fact.
Yeah, on like
Fuck
a
it, man.
podcast or whatever.
Yeah. Really the only other things that kind of happened in the group was Jimmy Jessica talk and both Chelsea and Trevor talk too. There's nothing really here to talk about.
I
They
think the
are all
only
on the same page with each
yeah.
other. Jimmy does say, you were my number one. You kind of still are. But obviously that does not take away from his love for Chelsea.
Hmm.
And Jessica handles herself really well. She's like, yeah, this is really hard to be in front of you and the emotions are still there with you. But I really hope that you two are happy and that you treat her as well as she deserves. So they're perfect. She's great. And then also with Trevor and Chelsea, it's the same thing. What I thought was actually cute with him, although it's really hard for me to believe anything this man says, is I still have the bracelet. he, he still has it.
Cringe.
It is a little cringe, but also at the same time, like, that would be really cute if I didn't know you had a girlfriend right now. So,
No, that'd be really weird. Like it's still
you
weird
think?
because the bracelet is not like a regular schmegular bracelet. It's like the tapping one.
Yeah, they
So
don't have
like
the apps installed. He
I
uninstalled the app.
okay, well either way it's still cringe.
I know, but he uninstalled the app, and I don't think she has the app on her phone anymore either. Um, but he just kept the bracelet
Hmm.
because they make the joke of, oh, maybe I should install the app back or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they don't have the apps installed, but I thought it was cute, and it would have been even cuter if he didn't have a girlfriend at the exact time that
Yeah.
he's meeting up with her.
Did you notice that he said he was trying to say like the second thing, like the second I got off, but then he kind of was like the second thing I did was because obviously second thing, like the second he got off, he texted his girlfriend, and then the second thing
Exactly.
he did was look at Chelsea's Instagram.
Yes. See what he was missing out on.
Also, very hypocritical for Chelsea to be like, "Yeah, I did the same," and then get mad at Jimmy. I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Oh, I missed that. She
Yeah.
did say, oh my God. Yeah, because honestly, if anything, first of all, Jimmy didn't just search for Jessica. It was Jeremy who said, "Oh, here's Jessica's Instagram." He didn't even go searching for it.
Yeah, but I
Chelsea
think that's
went
a
searching
lie.
for it. You think
I
it's a
think
lie?
that's yeah, because remember when
Mm-mm.
Jess was having like cocktails with Laura, she said that like she got a friend request and then the friend request got deleted and he went private.
Yeah, but I think
That was after?
that doesn't mean though that Jeremy did not say, "Oh, here's Jessica's Instagram."
Maybe, but
He didn't go
I thought it
searching
was
for it. Is what I'm trying to get at. But he did initiate contact, yes. But I
mm,
still think Jeremy probably said, "Oh, I found Jessica's Instagram," and sent it
maybe.
to Jimmy. But Jimmy initiated the first contact. Yeah, I do
Maybe.
think that happened.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think that's basically it for the group. Did I miss anybody or anything?
Um no, everything else I think was mid, not even relevant to bring up.
Yeah, and
Um,
basically just anything else that happened in the um the final episode that we got was wedding dress shopping. I thought Amy's dress was very cute. Um, there's also, I think they're still deciding on whether or not to do birth control or what's happening here.
no, I think she's decided
She has decided.
that she'll get on it. Yeah.
Okay. So they're figuring that out. All's great there. I thought her dress I thought was, it suited her. Like I wouldn't pick a dress like that, but it suited her amazingly. Then that's basically it. Honestly, full disclosure, like I said to Sharon earlier, I fast forwarded through most of this because I don't care. Um,
But also, like, we'll see if these are even the dresses they walk down in.
yeah, I stopped enough to see what dress they pick and
Yeah.
to see what I will say this AD's veil is still the same veil she walked down the aisle with. So there,
Yeah.
which I didn't like the veil. I think it's so tacky to have a veil that says "till death do us part" on it. That's tacky as hell.
I think, yeah, it's some people's style. Nowadays, like there is like engravery on
Yeah,
the veils. So like people do last
tacky,
names.
tacky, just tacky.
Yeah.
I could maybe I would do an engrave on like on the ring.
Hmm.
Um, like I would do that. Like I did that. It wasn't a ring though, but I've done like engrave. I think I engraved on my ex's. I got behind like a necklace, and I engraved our wedding anniversary on it.
Yeah.
On like I've done stuff like that, but I wouldn't do that on like my dress or anything. Like I wouldn't go like that. Um, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I think it's just tacky. It's it's the equivalent of word art for me. It's just tacky as fuck. I don't need to know Mr. and Mrs. sleep in the Mr. and Mrs. bed. Like I don't need to know that.
Yeah.
Like duh. But anyways, so yeah, it's kind of that. We have the dates, the one-on-one dates, which again,
Hmm.
not much to really talk about with either of them. Except for we did kind of mention again before we started recording the one-on-one date between Jimmy and Chelsea, and him kind of questioning her on whether or not she was actually going to say yes on decision day, and it kind of just cuts out there. We personally think that's editing. We y'all.
If she like comes around and now has some hesitation, I'll be like, no,
I'm gonna
you're
be so mad. I'm actually
I'd be
gonna be
like,
mad.
yeah.
I'm gonna throw my paper and pen and just be like, I'm fucking done with these people.
I would think it's just so manipulative. Like,
Yes, because how
OMG.
dare you turn into the Hulk when I told you you're clingy, for you
Yeah.
then to turn around and say, you know what? I
And
don't
then
think
also
this is gonna
criticize
work.
Jimmy, like, oh, like you're not even gonna give us a shot. You're not even gonna try. Like you're already ready to leave because of one fight we had that was like really bad. I'm like, oh my God, now look at you.
Weren't you the one who wanted to leave when he told you you were clingy?
Yeah.
Like, ma'am. And he just beat you to the punch, basically. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But I personally think it's editing. I don't think they they are are not going to get married, but we did kind of have our predictions initially. Um, but what do you think after watching this? What do you think? Do you think
Okay.
any of these people are getting married?
I think now, like Amy and Johnny have no reason to get married.
To get married or to not get
Sorry,
married?
no reason to not get married. Like they
Okay.
seem like all the potential conflicts have been like dealt with easily.
Mhm.
So I see them getting married. If they don't, like shocker. Um, AD and Clay, I think AD's gonna be the one to say no. Um, and then
You
for
think AD is going to say no?
I think so.
Hmm.
And then for like I think like AD's gonna go first. Or maybe they'll make Clay go first.
We'll
But
see. I think
we'll see.
Clay, I think Clay is the wild card here,
Hmm. No,
personally for me.
I think low-key AD is hesitant,
Okay.
but she's just not showing it.
Okay.
Um,
And then Jimmy and Chelsea.
honestly, like I hope they say no.
Me too.
Like I would be so scared if they say
I want to
yes.
be, I want
That's a
to,
wild card for me.
for me, so here's what I'll say. For
Yeah.
me, I think Amy and Johnny Golden, they're getting married.
Hmm.
I think with AD and Clay, I'm going to go the opposite way. I think it's also just based on how AD gets so emotional talking about her feelings for him.
Hmm.
She's not the one that's going to say no. She's definitely saying yes.
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
Clay is the wild card here. And I'm thinking he's going to say yes,
Yeah.
but I don't think his yes is going to be genuine.
Hmm.
I think he's going to say yes to save face, to say that I've tried this. But I think ultimately, um, they're going to not be together at some point.
Yeah.
I personally think come reunion, they're not together.
Hmm.
That's what I think. And then as for Chelsea and Jimmy, I'm with you. I feel like this is kind of the equivalent of Izzy and Stacy, where I'm thinking, yeah, they're going to say yes because they're crazy. Like they're going to say yes,
Yeah.
but then be completely shocked that one of them actually says no.
Yeah.
And I think,
Like hopeful one of them says no, but then shocked at the same time.
uh,
Yeah.
I think, I don't know who would say yes and who would say no. Because in my mind, I'm thinking Chelsea is going to say yes and he might say no,
Yeah.
but I'm actually not even sure.
Yeah.
I could see even going the other way around because I feel like Chelsea can be a sneaky bitch at the same time. Like
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it really depends on what happens when we come back in the next episode and see her reaction, like what
Hmm.
she actually does say to him. But if I go based on it's the editing, I'm going to say they're both saying yes.
Yeah.
But then that would be 3 for 3, and I don't think that's how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Someone has to say no
Yeah.
on the wedding day.
That's what 80's gonna say no.
You think Adie's going to say no? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think she's going to say no.
Yeah.
She believes in him too much.
Yeah. But
Um,
she has some concerns. She's just like, it's just not being brought on film, on camera.
Maybe that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, I don't think we really have much else to really talk about. I know we kind of did talk about, but kind of we have to go pretty much now, but um, I know we kind of were talking about while we were recording for next day podcast. Um, everyone will get a sneak peek into that on this podcast, but we were talking about Kenna and the rumors that kind of came out about Kenna.
All right.
So,
Right.
for those who maybe don't know, there has been rumors come out. Someone mentioned on a TikTok, or maybe some kind of, I heard about it on TikTok, um, that it's come out that his cousin might have outed him publicly, kind of saying like, "Oh no, of course it wouldn't have worked out with Brittany because he's gay." So
Hmm.
What do you think? I'm
Um,
gonna say what I think after, but what do you think?
okay. Um, so like I heard that from like people, like I haven't seen it from the source, but then I
Hmm.
haven't heard nothing from it since.
Hmm.
Um,
I haven't heard anything about it from since either.
yeah. Um, I mean, sure, like maybe, I don't know. Um, but at the same time, like I don't know, I saw it with like I don't know, man. I don't think it's true. It could be true. I mean, he could be bi. It could be so many different
Maybe.
things.
Yeah.
Um, I just based on um other sources, and Jess did a podcast with the Vile File,
Hmm.
like Nick, whatever his name is. I don't
Like
know his
bio.
name. Yeah. She was kind of talking about it too, and she kind of put some more context on the way things ended with Kenneth and Brittany. And she was like, honestly, like Kenneth one was a sweetheart and such, and like people were afraid to like be in a relationship with Kenneth just because like he was just so pure and too good. Like they just
Hmm.
didn't want to taint that.
Hmm.
And she said in terms of like their like last scene together, Kenneth and Brittany, it came across as if like Kenneth was like very like shut off because they've had many conversations throughout. And like even that same day they were having that conversation that they're going to be breaking it off because it does not seem really like there's some passion missing, some
Hmm.
attraction missing.
Hmm.
And then so he was kind of just like, we've had this conversation. Now we have to film this conversation all over again.
So it was like a
Just kind of,
reenactment.
yeah, like it was kind
Hmm.
of just like he was like really just over it,
Hmm.
emotionally shut down,
Hmm.
like just knew what was coming. So like that's why it came across like that.
Kind of cold. Okay.
And yeah, and that's what Jess was saying on the bio file. So
Okay.
yeah, the I don't know. I don't really have any opinions on
Which is
this.
interesting too, because like our take on
Hmm.
that whole breakup
Yeah.
was very different than reality gaze. Um,
Yeah, and a lot
um,
of public
a
people.
lot of people were bashing Kenneth
Yeah.
because of how cold he was.
Yeah.
But this actually adds a lot of context to
Hmm.
why he maybe was like that and so close after her.
Yeah.
Now, do I think he could be hiding a part of him? It's
Hmm.
definitely possible because number one, he is a black man,
Yeah.
but also number two, he's a religious man.
Yes, I
And
forgot.
if we remember from our Catholic days, like
Hmm.
I am still, I still have a faith, but whatever. We're told that being in same sex relationships, actually not the relationship aspect itself, it's the act that's the sin that is probably part of maybe why he could be hiding this. I
Hmm.
think the cousin also mentioned that he went on the show to appease his family to kind of maybe get them off of his scent a little bit too.
Hmm.
Um, so do I think it could be possible? Yes. I don't really have respect for his cousin kind of outing him in that way either, though.
Yeah.
If this is true. What I also thought was interesting, and I mentioned this because it was actually Ava for my listeners who brought this to my attention. I actually said to her, and I said, "This is actually really funny because listening to reality gays, I'm going to trust the gay men here because I am not a gay man."
Hmm.
But they said at first they actually think that Clay is closeted just based on
Hmm.
different things that he says, how he acts. And I'm like, huh. Because the one thing they brought to the attention was, y'all, he was so into like, oh, show me the ring. Oh, it's so blingy and all of this. Like, he is kind of, when I heard, I'm like, that maybe could be a possibility. But then not only that, they then kind of went into a different territory and they're like, I also think that Kenneth could also be closeted, but they also didn't want to really get into that because A, they don't like Clay, so they're going to go there with him. But with Kenneth, they do like Kenneth as a person. So like, oh, I don't know if we really should go there with Kenneth. And not even a day later did my friend not send me this. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, that's really weird because they were saying that they thought he was closeted and then this came out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was. Um, but at the same time, like we don't know for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it could be that he was. It could be that he was awkward because this was his first interracial relationship. I
Yeah.
guess.
Not much opinion on that.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out or we won't find out or whatever. But whatever it is, I just wish him all the best. Truly.
Yeah. And Brittany, like Brittany is a
And Brittany too.
sweetheart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, she got caught up in a situation with
Yeah.
somebody that maybe just wasn't fully there with her.
Yeah.
Um, for whatever reason.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. And that could also like alter someone's like attraction to a person as well, right?
exactly. Like, if that were me, I would literally be like, what's going on here? And I mean, even like, it might seem ridiculous, but even as simple as him constantly being on his phone when she's actually trying to talk to him and engage with him,
Yeah.
that right there could just be like, I'm being ignored.
Hmm.
So, like, you know, I don't know. Anyway, I think that's it. I think we've covered everything. Again, you'll have just me for the weddings, but of course, we will talk about everything with Sharon when we come back from the reunion. See
Yes.
how we go about this. See how this goes. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. Um, really and truly, I just care about who's saying yes and who's saying no. So it
Hmm.
might be somewhat of a short episode. We'll see, but yeah. Well, I guess we'll go now. Thanks, Sharon, for coming on.
Of course. Thanks
It was
for always
fun.
bringing me on.
Of course. This is the only show we talk about.
Yeah.
And and definitely have fun on vacation. Drink all of the rum punch that you can get your hands on.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps. Every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there. And you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, dot podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Week Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. We are finishing up with our Black History Month series right now, so it's been great. over there. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube, and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.